All right, we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Wife School show. Excited to be here today and talk a little bit about what your wife really thinks about Thanksgiving, and excited about the message today and where we're going to go in that. Before I get started, let me adjust some things here. All right, there we go. So before I get started, a reminder, there is no show next week due to Thanksgiving. And also be sure to check out the Happy Wife School show on Spotify and podcast. Please give it a rating to help it reach more people. On Spotify and Apple, I take the live show from Saturdays, trim it down a little bit from the beginning and the end, and put it as a podcast format. So please know that that is there if you would like to listen to the Happy Wife School show on Apple or Spotify. And please go check out my colleague Josie's channel, the autoimmune expert. She teaches people how to permanently heal from autoimmune diseases and chronic illnesses by working on their emotional state. So if you suffer from an autoimmune disease like fibromyalgia or hypothyroidism or chronic fatigue syndrome or rheumatoid arthritis or chronic illness like depression, anxiety, or chronic pain, you want to go check out Josie's channel, learn what she has to offer and share, which is a cutting edge perspective on autoimmune and chronic illness. So please go check out the autoimmune expert. I'm going to head over to the chat for a moment. Make sure I'm coming through. You guys can hear me, see me, say hello, and then we will dive right into the topic. Thank you, Phil. Shows up right away, loud and clear. And of course, a big shout out to Steve and Phil showing up every Saturday, making the chat a wonderful place to be for those watching live. So please make their jobs easy and be respectful of each other in the chat. Of course, it's okay to disagree and have different views, but please keep it respectful, or they'll give you the boot. So thank you guys for being here. Salty, great to have you. I love what Salty says about Josie's channel. Josie rocks. Josie does rock. She's wonderful. Her message is applicable to everyone, regardless of if you have an autoimmune disease or not. I agree. It can also be a really great channel to use it as a preventative insight and education against autoimmune and chronic illness. So thank you for that comment. Gary, nice to have you. I think I saw before I got live, it's your first live show, so really happy for you to make it and be here. Monica, Colleen, thank you guys for being here. Ben Wyatt, Patriot Defender, all the usuals. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting the message and being here every week. It's so nice to have you guys here with me and know that you're listening and out there. So we'll go ahead and get started and dive into the topic, which is what your wife really thinks about Thanksgiving. The reason I want to talk about this, of course, Thanksgiving is next Thursday, but also because as a woman, I've had a lot shaken up with me this week around Thanksgiving, and was burying my head in the sand of the things that I didn't want to feel and didn't want to look at with Thanksgiving, right around the corner and the holidays upon us. So it was a challenging week of having to look at myself and how sped up I've gotten internally, the stress, the feelings that I haven't wanted to face, that I know many women are struggling with right now. If you're brave enough to slow down and be honest about how you're feeling with Thanksgiving approaching and then just being right into the holiday season. And I know the good men listening are already starting to feel the mood shift even more from what you're used to in the sped upness and emotions around the holidays and beginning to walk on eggshells around your wife. For some of you, I don't know, your wives might be at the grocery store right now getting all the food and all the things needed for Thanksgiving. So that's why I want to talk about this. This is today's talk very much a reflection of things I've had to look at in myself this week and move through, and wanting to help other women So you want to look at this if you're a woman watching. One, thank you for all the women that show up on Saturdays for the live show and watch the channel. You're very brave, very courageous, and this message is for you today to use this as a red pill moment to see the truth of how we really show up in Thanksgiving, how we really show up during the holidays, so that you can have a path forward to change. It's the self-awareness of what's happening in us internally that allows us to begin to change. If we deny our experience, if we don't take the flashlight out and look at it, we have no path forward to change. So this isn't to make us wrong, as I often say. This is to shine the light on what's really happening in us internally so that we can change and we can do things differently. So Thanksgiving and the holidays is a time for us as women to power through so that we don't have to slow down. We can bury our heads in the sand of how we're feeling or what is bringing up in us, or the new year approaching and how we feel about that. So we bury our heads in the sand until after the new year so that we can just get through the holidays without having to feel. And just like me as a woman, when I bury my head in the sand and I want to power through Thanksgiving and the holidays, we have no sense of self-awareness, how we're showing up, how others feel around us, how our husbands feel around us during Thanksgiving and the holidays, how our kids feel around us. And with no self-awareness and powering through and being sped up and just being a tornado, even if we're trying to put on a facade that everything is great, everyone feels us as the tornado, and we drag everyone through it with us. So we want to be able to look at that, and we want to be able to change, especially with Thanksgiving around the corner, which in its truest meaning is a time to reflect and be thankful and grateful for the lives we have. Be grateful for our families. Be grateful for our husbands and genuinely and truly appreciate them. We go through with a false sense of gratitude. A false sense of gratitude. It's a facade that we put on because we're supposed to be grateful, or we're supposed to be thankful. So we have this facade we present to the world without any true connection to ourselves and any true sense of genuine gratitude or being appreciative of our lives, of our husbands, of our families. For most women, even though we have the facade, but underneath that, we're feeling resentful, we're feeling on edge, we're feeling taken advantage of, we feel we're the ones doing everything, no one's helping to create the magic of the season. So for most women, we wear this holiday facade that we're excited, that we love Thanksgiving, or we love Christmas, we love the holidays, the best time of year, the most magical time of year, and that we love it and enjoy the traditions of the season. But the truth is that everyone is on edge because we're powering through it. And we're stressed, and we're pulling everybody else into that and stressing everybody else out, and we're no fun to be around. Even if you think you're fooling everyone with the smile on your face and the everything is great facade, everyone feels what's actually going on the inside. And so while we will make the perfect Thanksgiving and have all the right food, all the right people, all the right table decorations, and we'll create a special, meaningful season, underneath that, we do feel resentful, burdened, obligated, taken advantage of, holding our breath, and can't wait until it's over. This might be something you've hidden from yourself, like I did and like to do. I don't like to know that this is what I'm feeling and how I'm showing up, because then I have to face it and do something about it, and it busts my own facade that I bought into, and it's vulnerable. So that's why this is a red pill moment, to see the truth of what's going on subconsciously underneath the facade so that you can do something about it. Let's talk a little bit about how good men feel around their wives on Thanksgiving and during the holidays. Good men have learned to get out of the way and let their wives lead on what they think Thanksgiving and the holidays should be, what they're going to look like, what they're going to do, how it's going to go. And good men try their hardest to stay out of trouble and support their wives to let them do their thing. So they walk on eggshells and they tiptoe around their wives, trying not to disrupt the beast underneath the holiday self facade that we present is a beast just waiting to attack. And a good man's doing everything to try not to disrupt that beast and let everything be as calm as it can be. And it's a very, very stressful time for good men. But because good men have the lens of being positive and seeing through the stress and the challenge of it all, they look for and focus on the good and just try to support their wives to let them do what they're going to do and just stay out of the way. So let's talk a little bit about why. Why, as women, are we this way during the holidays? Again, I'm going to keep stressing this. Even if we present the holiday self and everything's cool, got everything under control, everything's good, I'm not stressed, I love the holidays. This is what's going on underneath that. So we need to look at why. One, be honest that it's there, just like I had to do this week. And then look at why. Why are we this way as women? Sped up, on edge, hurrying around, trying to get all the right things. I went to 3 different stores yesterday to get the right things. But we're hurrying around. Everything has to be perfect. We have to have all the things. For many of us, it's over the top. We have to have all the traditions that we remember from our childhood, right? Traditions for our husband, the traditions we want to make for the kids, and we got to do it all. And that's what's going underneath. So why are we this way? And I want to take a unique approach that I had to take the flashlight out and see this week, which was very eye-opening and fascinating, and was a new way to look at this internal tornado we create at Thanksgiving and during the holidays. So the reason why we have this internal tornado and are the way we are as women around the holidays is the magic of what Thanksgiving and the holidays used to be for most of us when we were kids is gone. The magic of the holidays is gone. And what it reminds women of is that the magic is gone in ourselves. We've taken it away from ourselves. The holidays are this time of forced reflection that bring up who we thought we would be, where we thought we would be, what life would look like, what it would feel like. And subconsciously, we're in this forced reflection of what we feel is missing and a forced reflection of what we feel we don't have, that if only we had would make us happy. And in that forced reflection, we feel very sad, empty, and like there's this gaping hole in us of what was once magical no longer being there, and we're butted up against that in ourselves. But it's not the holidays. It's not the holidays that cause us to feel this way and to show up these ways and to be this way during Thanksgiving and the other holidays of the season. If we believe it's the holidays that make us feel this way, that's actually camp victim. Something outside of me is making me feel bad and making me stressed. And as long as it's the holidays, we can't change. So we have to flip it and recognize the holidays are simply a window into ourselves of how we always feel underneath the surface, that the holidays just shake up and expose. And it makes us realize as women that there's no magic in our lives. We've stripped ourselves and our lives of anything that we can genuinely enjoy or the possibility of any magic. Living in camp victim, blaming our husbands, blaming others and circumstances in our past for how we feel and who we've become and what our lives are like, erases us from our lives. We have erased ourselves from our lives by living in camp victim, thinking it's all happening to us. And when there's no me, or there's no you in your life or in the experience of Thanksgiving or the holidays or just everyday life, you can't feel the magic of you and the possibilities of who you are and what you can create and the magic in the life you've already created that's there waiting for you. So then the holidays feel burdensome and a big obligation, something we don't want to do but pretend we want to, because it exposes how miserable we are and how, in spite of the life we have, the great life on paper, all the boxes we've checked, in spite of that life we've created, nothing has made us happy. So in that, we feel we're not where we need or want to be in our lives. And this is what's running subconsciously underneath our facade. This is why we run and race through the holidays, so we don't have to feel the emptiness and sadness in us that we have created. It hasn't happened to us. Spoiler alert, there's nothing missing in your life. It's that we are missing. You are missing. I am missing from my life when we live in camp victim, believing our experience is happening to us. There can be no me. And that's the forced reflection that the holidays bring up. It exposes that emptiness in us. Because there's supposed to be a magical time, and there's no magic left in us. So the holidays, again, feel like a burden and a should, and an obligation, and a have to. And this is all a symptom, again, of living in Camp Victim. So looking specifically at this with the Thanksgiving holiday just right around the corner, that even though it is Thanksgiving and a time to be thankful and grateful for our lives, subconsciously, we can't feel any gratitude or appreciation because all we can do is to feel the miserableness and the lacking and the obligation and expectation, and we're rushing through it. And from that place, we can't be appreciative. We can't be grateful. We can't be thankful. I can't be thankful and reflect and have gratitude for my life and the blessings in it, including my husband, when I am sped up and powering through. It disconnects us from ourselves. The whole purpose of powering through and being sped up is to be disconnected and not have to feel. I highly recommend going and watching my live episode from last week on how, as women, we are the ones who are emotionally unavailable, so that you can understand why we want to be disconnected from ourselves and why we don't want to feel, and who gets the brunt of our dissatisfaction with ourselves and our lives at Thanksgiving and the holidays. Our husbands. The majority of it is all directed at them. And they're trying to do everything to appease and accommodate us, but feel completely unappreciated in the way and an obstacle to us. So where we're going to go next is a red pill moment for women to recognize how during the holidays we power through so we don't have to feel. And what I would like for you to do is to open your heart and let your walls down. For a moment, open your heart and let your walls down for a moment and see what your husband wished you appreciated about him as a good man that you can't see through the selfishness and entitlement that we live in, making it all about us, living in Camp Victim. Because this is a time to reflect in our lives and be thankful. So what a great time to appreciate our husbands as good men and to do it genuinely. The key word here being genuinely. Be thankful and appreciative of your husbands. We might wear the facade of being thankful and appreciative of our husbands, But because we live with our walls up and wanting them to make us happy and treating them as if they are here to serve us, we haven't been able to consider them, let alone do it genuinely, because in order to consider your husbands and to do that genuinely and to genuinely appreciate him, we have to slow down and feel. If you don't allow yourself to connect and feel your thankfulness and appreciativeness of your husband, it's not genuine. It's another checkbox, and he feels that. So for the good men listening, this is a moment to understand why you never feel valued or appreciated by your wife, even if she says thank you, or I appreciate this, or I just so grateful for you. This is why you can't feel it, because we never really let it in. In order to show genuine gratitude, we have to let ourselves feel that gratitude. And being sped up and being empowering through and not wanting to feel, because as women, we're pain avoiders. So even feeling good things is scary, and we push it away and we avoid it and we put our walls up. That's another reason you want to go watch The Truth About Your Marriage, that your wife is the one who is emotionally disengaged, where I talk about walls. Our walls are there so that we don't have to feel and we don't have to be vulnerable. And genuine appreciation and genuine gratitude requires vulnerability and letting our walls down and allowing ourselves to feel. So I want women to let these 15 things in, to be truly appreciative and thankful of your husband. And we're going to look at 15 things your husband wished you appreciated about him. This list of 15 is from those good men who watch my channel. They're from your husbands as good men. These come from descriptions of men who write in or apply for one of my courses, or write in asking a question. And one of the things that I have good men do is to describe themselves as good men. And these come directly from the good men who watch my channel and are desperate for their wives to re-engage in the relationship, open their hearts to them, and see them for who they are as good men. So I want the women listening to, again, open your hearts, let your walls down for a moment, to know this is who your husband is as a good man, that he wishes you appreciated about him. Number 1, he consistently tries to live with intention, integrity, and compassion. Number 2, he does his best to treat you and everyone in his life with respect and decency. Number 3 of what your husband wished you appreciated about him: he believes in being the bigger person and is constantly growing to become better. Number 4, he does everything he can to make you feel loved and supported, even though he gets very little back in return. Number 5, he makes an effort to understand what you need to feel cared for, and he shows up for you even on days when it's not easy. Number 5, he makes an effort to understand what you need to feel cared for, and he shows up for you even on days when it's not easy. Number 6, his faith guides him. He tries really hard to love you the way the Bible and Christ calls on all men to do. Number 7 of what your husband wished you would appreciate about him. Number 7, he strives to be someone who cares, grows, supports, and loves wholeheartedly. Number 8, he is a great father and a strong, loyal husband. And he tries to live in a manner that he doesn't have to apologize for. Number 9, he puts you first and tries to fit around you, never making unilateral decisions without considering you and your needs. Number 10 of what your husband wished you appreciated about him. Number 10, he gets along with almost everyone. He is honest and hardworking and enjoys life almost every day. Number 11, he makes mistakes and realizes he is not perfect, but wants to change so that you can be happy. He puts your needs before his own. Number 12, he loves and tries to serve you and his children and deeply cares about the well-being of his family. Number 13, he is moral, has a big heart, loves God, and wants you to be happy. Number 14, he wants to build you up, not tear you down. And he will do anything to make us work. And number 15 of what your husband wished that you appreciated about him. Number 15, He knows the marriage has had its share of challenges and difficult moments, but his desire and commitment to you has never wavered from the moment he first saw you to this very day. I'm going to read that one again because I think it's really powerful. Number 15, he knows the marriage has had its share of challenges and difficult moments, but his desire and commitment to you has never wavered. From the moment he first saw you to this very day. And those are the 15 things your husband wished you appreciated about him during this season of being grateful and thankful. I encourage you, ladies, to slow down and open your heart and see your husband for the good man that he is, and genuinely appreciate him by feeling and seeing the truth of who he is. So I want to talk now a little bit to the women who maybe struggle to see these things about your husband, the women who are stuck, feeling ungrateful, not feeling appreciative. And part of the reason that we can't allow ourselves to feel the appreciation and gratitude that we have for our husbands is because we don't appreciate them. We feel entitled that they're there to serve us. And in that can have no genuine gratitude for who they are or the things they do or how they show up. Also, when we live in camp victim blaming our husbands for our unhappiness, all we can see is the negative lens of being a victim of all the things we think our husbands aren't doing for us. All the ways we see who they're not that we want them and need them to be, and we create a lens of negativity. In victim, we just have a big lens of seeing all the things that are wrong to justify our victim story of why we think our husbands are responsible for our unhappiness. And so in that, we see through the lens and feel we are the ones who are not appreciated. We're the ones that aren't valued or shown gratitude, which is a projection of actually how we're treating our husbands from that place of being a victim. You might not see the things I shared of what your husband wished you would appreciate about him because you've pushed him away so much, emasculated him, and beaten these things out of him that he's thrown his hands up and he's given up. So you're facing the consequences of your behaviors and how you've treated your husband over the years, that he can only be told he's the problem so much. He can only be made to feel so bad and wrong before he does stop trying. Before we get under their skin enough and push the right buttons to elicit and provoke reactions and behaviors from them that are opposite of the list that I just shared of who a good man is and what he wishes you appreciated about him. We beat those things out of him. Or, as a good man, he keeps trying and trying and trying and is still showing up as a good man and the qualities of a good man, but we've blinded ourselves and we can't see it because all we can focus on is the negative and what we see is wrong. So the solution for us as women really is to get out of camp victim and into camp take responsibility. It's from that place that we can begin to build value in ourselves and appreciate who we are, which fills the emptiness that we have and experience that the holidays bring out in us. And when we take responsibility and change how we feel about ourselves and let the magic of who we are back in, that creates a different lens, a positive lens from which we can see our husbands and the good men that they are. And he will be right there waiting for you. Unlike who we are as women, good men don't keep a Rolodex of hurts. Generally, they forgive and forget very quickly. So if you haven't pushed your husband past the point that he's unwilling to return, sadly, that can be the case in some marriages, that you've pushed your husband past the point that he's not willing to return. He doesn't trust you and doesn't trust any changes you might make. That can happen. But if you haven't pushed him past that point, he will be right there waiting for you, ready to start with a clean slate. When you show up content in yourself and appreciating him for who he is and seeing him for who he is, he'll be right there. So speaking to the men for a moment, and the solution for men who don't feel the appreciation from your wife or are suffering from our woman ways, not only just on a day-to-day basis, but especially during the holidays. I like to teach good men, you didn't pick the wrong wife. You married a woman. And all women, to varying degrees, have these woman ways, have the inability to be appreciative and make you the problem, again, to varying degrees. So all good men like you who are married are having similar experiences to varying degrees in their marriages with their wives. It's important that good men not be a victim to their wives and their marriage thinking it should be or look different. That unfortunately, our woman ways and the varying degrees of our woman ways are the reality of a marriage. So your job as a good man is trying to reconnect with knowing you are a good man, which your wife in her woman ways has tried to make you feel that you are not. Some of you might have listened to the list I shared of what you wished your wife appreciated about you and thought, I used to be that, but I'm not anymore. Because you've been pushed and emasculated to the point of being able to carry yourself as the good man that you are. And so you want to reconnect with those qualities to be the best man you can so that you feel good about yourself and that you know you are a good man. So it's about recommitting and learning and growing from the challenges in your marriage so that you can take back the power you've unknowingly given away. Because the worst thing that you can do for yourself and the challenges you are experiencing with your wife and how they make you feel, the worst thing that you can do for yourself is to be stuck in camp victim, wishing you had a different wife and a different life. That is a miserable place to be for man or woman. And that the more you understand your wife's woman ways, the more you can navigate them, making yourself stronger and rebuilding your sense of being a good man. So for the women listening who want a roadmap to get out of camp victim and into camp take responsibility and to let your walls down and truly appreciate and see your husband for the good man he is, please look at the link in the description below this video or podcast episode. to learn more about my courses for women and for the good men listening who want a way to reconnect with the good man that you are, understand your wife's woman ways, and rebuild your sense of self and confidence and strength, then you can also click the link in the description to learn more about my course for good men. So thank you all so much for joining me for a special holiday episode for Thanksgiving. Please like this video if you haven't already. Consider subscribing and share it with anyone you know it might be helpful to. And I'm going to pop over to the chat for a moment to answer some questions that Phil will send my way, see if there's anything else that catches my eye, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Reminder, there's no live show next Saturday, but I'll be back the following Saturday, where we will be in December and inching nearer to Christmas in the new year. So I'm sure we'll do a Christmas episode as well and expand further. The holidays, as challenging as they can be, are a wonderful insight and window into ourselves to grow and learn. So there's lots of different angles and takes that I've learned over the years since working on myself through the holidays and what they shake up in me that I can share and look forward to sharing. So I will again pop over here to the chat. Oh, thank you so much, Phil. I appreciate your generosity. He says, Karen, blessings to you and Adam this holiday season for all you two have done to make this great channel for so many who need to hear your perspectives and benefit from your commentary. Thank you so much, Phil, and Adam thanks you as well, and couldn't do what I'm doing without Adam and the wonderful man that he is, and spent some time going over that list that I shared today, knowing he's every one of those, so that I can genuinely appreciate him. So thank you. And Mauricio, thank you for the contribution, and what a fantastic question. That's such a great question. So Mauricio asks, is it our job to help women manage their self-induced stress that only seems to rev up and not down? My ex would get more angry when offered help. Great question. So essentially, is it our job to help women manage their self-induced stress that only seems to rev up and not down? No. It is not your job to help your wives manage their self-induced stress and their emotional state. It is your wife's responsibility, and ladies, our responsibility to manage and overcome our own self-induced stress, and to take responsibility to learn to be in control of our emotional state, which means understanding it and understanding when we are not in a good emotional space, and managing ourselves to still show up pleasant, and if we can't because we're having a really tough time, to actually verbalize it. I actually tell my husband, hey, last night I told you guys I went to 3 different stores to get the right things. And I got home and I was stressed because I was in Friday traffic, rolling around Denver to get these 3 items that I needed. And I got home. I told my husband, I said, hey, not you, please. Like, he was having a good time. It's Friday, you know. He's having his Friday time after work. He works really hard. And I said, hey, just need about 10 minutes. It's not you. Got myself a little worked up riding around in traffic on a Friday. So just need like 10 minutes. And I did. I just needed 10 minutes and let him know like where I was, so that he's not thinking he's got to fix it, manage it, or do something about it, which is very stressful. So no, it is our responsibility as women to manage our emotional state and to manage our stress and not burden our husbands with that responsibility. Because in this question, the second part, my ex would get more angry when offered help, is exactly what we do as women. We don't want the help. And then even if we say that we do, because as soon as you try to help, one, we don't want your advice. We don't take your opinions. We don't take your suggestions of how to solve the problem. We just tell you why those things won't work, and then get frustrated that you're trying to help us and like, just let me be where I'm at. Just listen. Why are you trying to help me? It makes it worse. The reason that we do that is because we actually want the stress. We want the problems. We don't want the stress solved. We don't want the problem solved, because then we'd have nothing to be stressed and unhappy about. And we want a distraction from ourselves, and we want a distraction from our lives, and we want the problem so it's not on our shoulders, and we have something to point our fingers out to of why we're so stressed, why we're so emotional, so we don't have to take accountability and we don't have to be the ones to change. That's our woman way. And so what a good man does in trying to help, which is just what a good man does, try to help manage that stress she's having, he gives his power away, because she's going to ultimately emasculate you, that you're doing it wrong or you're not doing it right or you're making it worse. And then a good man internalizes that, believes the gaslighting that happens in that, and believes he's the problem. And then he feels like a failure. So that's one way that a good man unknowingly gives away his power, is thinking it's his responsibility to try to help manage his wife's emotional state. No, your wife is a grown adult. Women, we're grown adults, and we have the ability to manage and be in control of our emotional state even when we're having a tough time. Most of us can go to work, go see friends, and put on a good face and grin and bear it when we're having a tough time or we're in a bad emotional space. So the very least we could do is to be able to do that for our husbands as well. And even if you're having a hard time, it doesn't hurt to say, hey, even if you're feeling kind of bitchy, hey, I'm feeling kind of bitchy. It is not you. It's me. I'm doing my best, but I apologize that I'm not in the best of space. Please chill, do your thing. I'm fine. Just wanted to give you a heads up of how I'm feeling so you don't think it's you. So then a good man can relax, because he's thinking, what did I do? What did I do? What do I need to do to fix it? So we have to take the responsibility, but it's also just a choice. Once you learn and are self-aware, it's a choice for us as women, whether we're going to let our emotional state and our stress run the show, or if we're going to move through it, solve the problem, and be steady and stable like our husbands are constantly doing for us. So great question, Mauricio. Thank you. I'm going to head over to the email, and then I'll head over to the chat for a moment, just to see what questions might be there. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Good for you, Gary. And thank you so much for joining today, first live show. How does a husband help his wife see this channel and be open-minded? Yeah, great question, one that I get often. So you want to head over to the live tab to check out the episode on warning, what good men need to know about sharing my videos. So warning, what good men need to know about sharing my videos. I believe if you even put in the, there's that search bar for the channel. If you even just put like warning in there, it's going to pull that episode up somewhere. I'm sure I've used warning in other titles as well, but it will pull that one up. You want to watch that episode in its entirety to understand about sharing my channel with your wife, and to know that video will also explain there's nothing you can do to make your wife open-minded to my content. She's either open-minded and wants to change, even if she throws a little fit in the beginning, like I did, getting introduced to what I teach now. But she's either going to be open-minded, even if there's a little temper tantrum to begin with, or she's not. And there's nothing you can do to change it if she's not. So please go watch that episode to learn more, and bless you. I know it's a really hard place to be, and being in a place where you're ready to throw in the towel. So I'm glad you found the channel, glad you're here today, and hope that episode I just recommended helps you out. Great question. Is there a permanent forum where us men can sync up? This is great to have a place to talk. Is it possible for Karen to have a chat feature somewhere? That's great. one thing I'm just thinking of off the top of my head, I don't as of right now, but I am, I need to prioritize this, but I am going to be creating a Substack, which can be a great community and forum for you guys to be able to communicate and have that. I believe that's a feature that I can put into place there. And if not, I appreciate the suggestion, and I will absolutely take it into consideration and see how that could possibly work. Well, thank you, Captain Mezcal. We love Karen. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys too, and just so grateful for all of you and giving me a place to be able to share my message. And then sweet homie Zion, thank you so much for all your videos. You're very, very welcome. Appreciate you being here and being a part of the channel. So thank you, Phil, for sending those over. I'm just going to head over to see if there's anything else that catches my eye as we get close to wrapping up. Yeah. Thank you guys for keeping it a great place for Phil and Steve in the chat. Just see if anything else catches out. Yeah, right? Orange and Slickly, you want the stress? You want the problems? That's a good example of the different wirings in us as women and as men. Yeah, we want the problems. It gives us a distraction from ourselves and gives us something to blame for why we're so unhappy, so we don't have to see that it's us making us unhappy. So yeah, that's why Mike 88 GT says imaginary problems. We create imaginary problems. It's what we do. Yep, very true. So just seeing. Oh, Luke, glad you were able to join us. I saw in the beginning you were out running errands. Glad you were able to be here. Phil's spot on. It's entirely on the wife to move from camp victim to camp take responsibility. And then just again, thank you so much to Monica and Colleen and the other ladies here learning and being brave and courageous to face yourselves in these woman ways we have. So happy that you are here. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up, but thank you so much for being here. For those in the States and who celebrate, have a happy Thanksgiving. Very grateful for all of you and just all the support and showing up every week. And again, giving me a place to share my message and get this out into the world, that I couldn't do it without you guys and an audience to speak to and to help support me in getting the message out. You guys are a huge part of that. Whenever I look, YouTube gives me like a weekly recap of the channel, and I'm always just blown away at the number each week of how many videos are shared. It's often 2,500 shares, 3,500 shares, 5,000 shares. And it just blows my mind. So you guys are integral in getting that message out. So thank you for being you, and hope you have a lovely week. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks in December. So, all right, guys, stay safe. Bye.